In the small, fog-shrouded town of Eldritch Hollow, whispers coursed through the air like the wind that howled between the narrow alleyways. The townsfolk spoke of the cursed creature areas, places where malevolent beings supposedly roamed, shrouded in myth and the terror of the unknown. Each area bore a marker, a weathered sign half hidden by gnarled roots, warning the curious away. Most people heeded the warnings, save for a few adventurous teens. Among them were Alex, Mia, and Jake, three friends whose summer days dripped lazily into each other like melting ice cream cones. As the final days of the season approached, Alex proposed an adventure. "Let's explore the old grove," he suggested, his eyes shining with that familiar spark of mischief. The old grove was infamous. According to local lore, it was a place where dread settled like morning dew. It was said to be home to a creature with eyes that glowed like dying embers and a howl that could freeze your blood. Mia shivered at the thought but felt compelled to join. Jake, ever the skeptic, laughed off the stories but couldn't resist the thrill of exploration. Fueled by youthful bravado, they made their way to the old grove one murky evening, the sun sinking behind darkening clouds. The trees loomed tall and twisted, their branches reaching out like the skeletal fingers of long-forgotten souls. As they stepped deeper into the heart of the grove, the air thickened around them, laden with an electric anticipation. "See? Nothing here but shadows," Jake called out, but the bravado in his voice wavered as they ventured further. They soon reached a clearing adorned with an ancient stone altar, overrun with moss and vines. The sight sent an unsettling chill through Mia, and she hesitated. "We shouldn't be here," but Alex, always the instigator, jumped onto the altar. "You believe in the local tales, Mia? It's just an old rock." He began mocking the legends, daring the supposed creature to reveal itself. A moment of uneasy silence followed, broken only by the swaying of branches in the breeze. Suddenly, a low growl rumbled through the trees, making their hearts pummel against their ribs. Jake's bravado evaporated. "Do you think we should?" he started, but before he could finish, the temperature plummeted, and an ominous mist creeped in, wrapping around their legs like icy tendrils. An unearthly scream shattered the silence, echoing through the trees. Fear gripped their hearts as they turned to leave, but the mist swirled around them, thickening until they could scarcely see. The growl returned, closer this time, resonating with a predatory hunger. "Run!" Alex shouted, urgency fueling their flight. As they stumbled through the underbrush, the ground shifted beneath their feet, roots tangling and reaching, as if trying to pull them back. The primal instinct to survive kicked in, and they tore through the grove, all thoughts of the urban legends lost in the chaos. Mia stumbled, gasping as she collided with something solid and cold. She looked up, her breath hitching in her throat. The creature stood there, a silhouette outlined against the mist. It was a monstrous being, towering, with matted fur like shadows, and those glowing embers for eyes piercing into her soul. Jake grabbed Mia's hand, pulling her back. "Keep moving," he shouted, but it was too late. The creature let out a piercing howl, a sound that gripped their very essence, leaving them immobile in terror. They bolted into the trees again, desperately trying to remember the way they came, but the grove twisted in impossible directions. After what felt like hours, they stumbled upon the edge of the forest, breathless, but the creature was still on their tails. They plunged onto the road that led back to town, the mist dissipating but the biting chill lingering. The howl faded into the background, leaving an ominous echo in their hearts. They made it back to Eldritch Hollow, but their adventure did not end there. In the following days, shadows haunted their dreams, the creature's eyes searing into their minds. Mia would wake in the night, convinced she heard the growl outside her window. Alex began to see glimpses of fog creeping toward him whenever he walked alone. Jake found himself avoiding the streets where the town's warnings loomed large, knowing too well what lurked beyond the light. They discovered that the legends were only cautionary tales to protect the curious from the real horrors of the old grove. A few days later, as dusk painted the town in hues of red and orange, they gathered at Mia's house, attempting to shake off the tension. But then, a knock rapped at the door, sharp and sudden. Hearts racing, they exchanged glances of dread. "Who could that be?" Alex whispered. As Mia opened the door, the air became frigid, and standing there was the silhouette of the creature from their nightmares. The glowing eyes were not just in their dreams. The curse of the old grove had chased them home. "Welcome to Eldritch Hollow," it whispered, the words curling like smoke around them. The fog rolled in, and the town they once called home faded into darkness, leaving behind only the haunting reminder of the cursed creature areas where curiosity had led them to their doom.